Hey y'all, just Naturally Tiff, and I'm back with another video. So today I'm gonna be reviewing The Housemaid is Watching by Freida McFadden, which is the third in the Housemaid series. The first one is The Housemaid, then it's The Housemaid is Watching. Then it's The Housemaid's Secret, and then it is The Housemaid is Watching, which I will be reviewing today. I've already reviewed the other two books on my channel, so if you somehow got this video before you got the other ones, go back and view those videos first, especially if you've read the book, because this one was my least favorite of the three. I really enjoyed it, so don't get me wrong. I do still think it's worth reading, especially once you're so involved and interested in Millie's story. I think it kind of satisfies you in some ways, learning about her as she gets a little older and the things that she's gotten up to. So in this book, of course, we are following our girl Millie, and she is now all grown up. She is a wife and a mother, and she married Enzo, which we love to see it because we loved the relationship between Millie and Enzo in the other books, or at least some of us did. I did. I really loved Millie and Enzo together. I especially loved how protective he was of her and how he would just do anything to make sure that she was okay. Yeah, so I really just love the whole dynamic between Millie and Enzo. So your girl is married to Enzo, and she has two kids. She has a daughter named Ada and a son named Nico, and they are both elementary school age children, with Ada being a little bit older than Nico. So Millie moves the family to this neighborhood that she thinks is just the perfect, most idyllic neighborhood ever. She loves it. She loves their home. The house is a little bit over their budget, but her and Enzo decide, look, we're gonna make this work. This is our dream house. This is what we want. We're so tired of being in a cramped apartment with two children, so we're gonna make this thing work. They love their house. It's not the biggest house on the block, but it's perfect for them, and they just love it. So they move into this perfect house, or so they think, and they start to notice that the neighbors are a little strange. Number one, there's a neighbor like across the street, Janice, who keeps her son on a leash. So it's very unsettling and disturbing to Millie, but hey, the neighbor is like, she's doing that for his safety, and Millie's like, hey, do what you gotta do, but yeah, keep that over there. There's also a couple next door, the Lowells. I forget their first names, but we're just gonna call them the Lowells. And they seem like they're just very estranged. It seems like their relationship really doesn't work, or that they just really don't like each other. And Millie kind of can't figure that out, that dynamic out. It also seems like the husband may be afraid of the wife. So it's just a little strange and weird. Millie also is experiencing the neighbor next door, Mrs. Lau, flirting with Enzo. So she's seeing all these instances where Mrs. Lau is hitting on Enzo, and it really, really bothers her. So she is just navigating what she thought would be the perfect home, but it kind of turns into a nightmare, especially when one of her neighbors ends up dead. So like I said, I do think that this book is definitely worth a read, especially if you've read the other two Housemaids. It kept me intrigued the entire time. I always wanted to know what was going on, especially between one of Millie's children and the neighbor next door. There was something strange going on there, and I just had to know what was going on. So like I said, I recommend this book. I definitely think you should give it a try. Now, we're gonna go ahead and get into the spoiler section. So if you have not read the book, this is the part where you're gonna wanna skip forward just to see my rating. And if you have read the book, we're about to get into them spoilers.
A few moments later.
All right, so I got a lot to say. First, I just wanna talk about Millie and Enzo. Enzo was like one of my favorite characters in the other books. He really stood for something. He was a protector. He just seemed like a really good guy, and almost like he couldn't do anything wrong. Well, in this book, Enzo is just lying so much, just lying about everything. It bothered me to the core. And I knew just with Freida McFadden that Enzo probably wasn't cheating on Millie, but it just annoyed me how much he was lying. Coming home smelling like perfume, out in the backyard of the neighbor's house in the middle of the night, like it just, I just hated that whole thing about him lying to Millie. And I didn't really understand why he was lying to Millie, because it's not like she wouldn't understand. In the past, Millie and Enzo have teamed up to help these women. So I just couldn't understand why he continuously lied to Millie about the whole situation. Then the way that Millie kind of treated the housemaid, like I really wish she kind of would have gave her the benefit of the doubt early on. Now I know the part where she caught her stealing, I would have been upset too. Once Millie confronted Enzo about the whole stealing thing, I think that's when he should have came clean about what was going on with the housemaid, because I mean, that was your chance. That was the time to come clean about what you were doing and what you were helping her do. Now, I do wonder if Millie would have wanted him to continue doing that and putting himself at risk, knowing that they had 2 children. And I'm wondering if that's why he lied about it, but I still just did not like the fact that he was lying so much. I'm telling you, like, Enzo was like right here. Enzo was right here, and I just loved how he was with her, and just how he was just in general a protector of women. And just like I said, it was like he could do no wrong, but in this book he just constantly lied about everything down to the last freaking minute. Like, he just continued to lie over and over and over again, and I hated that. Millie just wasn't Millie to me, especially knowing what she went through with Nina and how Nina treated her. I just really felt like she should have gave the housemaid some grace. But I do understand her feeling like it was kind of pushed on her, and she just didn't really want the situation to begin with. So it's almost like she's trying to find a reason to justify not having her. Millie was just so different to me. Like, I really was interested in Millie. She was not a perfect character by any means. She did things that were wrong left and right, but she always did them for a good reason. And it just kind of seemed like we lost that essence to Millie in this book. And I really thought that this was going to make me love Millie and Enzo more. Like, I was so excited to read this book because I just knew I was going to fall deeper in love with Millie and Enzo. And really, the character that I really started to like in this book was Ada. I wonder if that's by design. I wonder if Freida McFadden is going to start a series with Ada, maybe as she gets a little bit older and the things that she goes through, because Ada was not playing any games with Mr. Lau. She was like, you're not about to do that to my brother. You're not about to force my brother to do anything. My brother peed on himself because he, no. You're not about to do that to my brother. So I wonder if we're gonna get a little taste of what Millie and Enzo have done through Ada now in the future. So that would be exciting. She was my favorite character in the book because she really stood for something. Everybody else was kind of on BS to me. Another thing that pissed me off about Enzo was how much he allowed Mrs. Lau to flirt with him. Like, it was so blatant and clear and disrespectful to his wife, the things that Mrs. Lau was getting away with. The way Mr. Lau was when Millie tried to touch him, no, don't touch me, honey. That's how Enzo should have been with Mrs. Lau. I did not like that. He allowed too much. And then the incident at the beach, only wanting him, like, it was just so weird. I'm just like, Now, at a certain point, he should have been like, man, get your wife, you know, help your wife. She just almost drowned. Something. I understand you want to stand up for the lady, but the whole, well, she wanted me. Enzo, no. So Cece, I love that part of the book, just kind of getting to see what Cece was up to. She's all grown up now. She's a lawyer. She's helping people out. I really love the fact that she brought back into this book now as an adult and just helping Millie and Enzo out. She kind of did a 180, you know, from how she was as a little kid to now helping Millie and Enzo, and I just really love to see it. I like how Freida McFadden didn't really go into a lot of detail as to what was really happening at the house with Nico and Mr. Lau. I had a suspicion that there was some SA going on, but it made me feel sick kind of and just icky just reading about it, and I'm glad that she didn't go into detail, but I think she kind of left that up to our imagination as to exactly what was happening. You know, the playing with the toys was kind of weird and locking him in the room, but I think there was a little bit more to it, especially with the bed being there at the house. It was just all around just icky and weird. So I'm glad that she kind of left that up to our imaginations as to exactly what was happening there. But like I said, there was just some things that I didn't like about it, especially how Millie and Enzo were. They were just a different Millie and Enzo than what I was expecting. I did love to, like I said, see that they were together, they had children, they finished or kind of like really got going in their careers, especially Millie. I think the last time she was in school to become a social worker, she actually did that. Enzo was doing really good with his landscaping company, so I love to see that. I just felt like they were just a little bit different in this book and not really my favorites anymore. Janice was mean as hell. She was, and very judgmental. And then the Lowells, first of all, Mrs. Lau, she was scum. She was like the scum of the earth. She was deplorable. I freaking hated Mrs. Lau. For her to know what her husband was doing, to know about the little boy that had went missing, like she was too much. She was a mess. I did not feel bad for her, not one bit, that she ended up taking a fall for, you know, what happened to Mr. Lau, because you mean to tell me you knew what the heck he was doing? You knew about that room? Like, that is just, it's sickening. And she just let it happen. And I'm telling you, it would be no way I would let any kids come over to my house knowing that this man up in here is doing stuff to, no, she was just nasty all around, just nasty, flirting with Enzo. She was too much for me. And those are my thoughts on the book. If you agree with me, let me know. Tell me what you thought about it down below compared to the other two books. Which one was your favorite? Which one was your least favorite? Let's go ahead and join everybody else so that we can talk about the rating. So my rating of this book, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 star. I was very intrigued the whole way through. It kept me intrigued and interested the entire book long. It just wasn't my favorites. If I had to put it up against Housemaids, my favorite being The Housemaid, then The Housemaid's Secret, and now The Housemaid is Watching. Like I said, I am so excited. I really want to see where Freida McFadden takes this with Ada. I really hope that she continues this Housemaid series, or maybe even like a spin-off with Ada, because she is my girl now. Millie used to be my girl, but now it's Ada because she was not playing any games. Okay, that is gonna be all for this review. If you enjoyed the review, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a purple heart down below to let me know you're one of my MVPs and you made it this far through the video, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.